Brought to you by State Line Motors. Visit State Line Motors on Euclid Avenue in Bristol.
Adopting a new pet is a rewarding experience. And Shelter Pets makes super pets. Your new best friend will steal your heart, bring you happiness, and enrich your life for years to come. You can make a difference in the life of an animal. Adopt and bring home a shelter pet today. To find out more, visit theshelterpetproject.org. This message has been brought to you by the Humane Society of the United States, Maddie's Fund, and the Ad Council.
You're listening to Virginia High Bearcat football on Spreaker Radio.
Hi, I'm Dustin Lynch. You don't have to listen to country music to know that life can be full of drama. Some of it you just can't control, like your girlfriend running out on you with your best friend. But there's some drama that you can skip.
Skip the drama that comes with not having your high school diploma or equivalency. Find free adult education classes near you and finish your diploma. Visit finishyourdiploma.org. That's finishyourdiploma.org.
You just need to take that first step and find free classes near you and start moving towards a brighter future and even your college degree.
Brought to you by the Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
In 50 feet, turn left. Why are you driving so slowly?
After a few drinks, I'm taking it slow.
Well, you're not fooling the cop behind you.
What?
Get ready to pay in 0.1 miles.
Getting pulled over for buzz driving could cost you around $10,000 in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates. Nothing kills a buzz like getting pulled over for buzz driving, because buzz driving is drunk driving. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Welcome back to the Sesco Group Insurance Countdown to Kickoff Show. Dylan Hutton along with Doug Rose here on this Saturday afternoon as we have football on the way coming up at 1 o'clock as we get set here for a first-round game. We have two Region 2D first-round games, but first, Doug, let's talk a little bit about these games that took place last night. Ridgeview took on Wise Central last night and dominated them 49-14. And surprisingly, I didn't really notice this, but that was the Wolfpack's first playoff win in school history.
Yep.
Surprised me because, they're 18-2 in the last 2 years, and they'll face Richlands next week for the first all-time meeting.
There's been a lot of people in Southwest Virginia hoping at some point to see a Richlands-Ridgeview matchup, and they got what they wanted.
And like I said, Richlands, the other team that got the win, they won 10-0 over Grayson County as the Blue Tornado pitched a shutout at Grayson. Coach Greg Mance won his 198th game. If he wants 199, he's going to have an uphill battle taking on Ridgeview, a very talented football team with only one loss this year.
Yeah, that'll be a tough task for Richlands, but the thing with that game is Ridgeview's strength is the run game and Richlands' strength is the run defense. So it should be an interesting game.
Isn't that what it's all about, Doug, these matchups that we don't get to see?
That's right.
But for the second straight year, this Bearcat team is going to be facing a district opponent. Now, hopefully the result a little better than last year. Last year was a barn burner, another good game against a talented Marion team. But this year you're getting one of the best.
That's right.
Around. And
that's right.
Like you said, you're going to have to win big games, and you'd rather, I guess, start with a big one. You're going to get it here today. Again, a 1 o'clock kick between 5 and 5 Virginia High, the number 6 seed, against the number 3 seed, the host, the Graham G-Men, who are 9-1. Their only blemish this year, a loss to the power from West Virginia, the Bluefield Beavers. The other game, a 2 o'clock kickoff in Region 2D. Number 7, John Battle, our neighbors, 5-5 overall. They'll head to Union, the number 2 seed, who's 8-2. Union's 2 losses, one to Ridgeview, the other a couple of weeks ago to Abingdon. It's a Union team that's really just got to play clean, smart football. When they've lost, they've turned it over.
That's right, and this will actually be the second week in a row that those two teams have played. They ended the regular season against each other last week. Union won 12-0 in some really muddy conditions from what I heard.
And you never know when you have a rematch like that, and the same thing happened. Well, within a 3-week span, Virginia High played Marion twice last year. One time in the regular season, the next time in the playoff. Non-Region 2D games of interest and some other games of interest. Chilhowie, the number 1 seed, rolled over Eastside 49-0. The Warriors reach 11-0. They'll face Grundy in round 2 of the tournament of the playoff. Number 4 Grundy beat Thomas Walker 55-13, and I went to this next game. Number 2 Patrick Henry against number 7 Honak. They played it at Emory and Henry due to all the wet conditions. That turf worked out pretty good. The Rebels won 47-7 as Zach Brown had another humongous game. He's one of the best players that doesn't get a whole lot of hype. I don't feel like enough hype. I think those 1A guys kind of get buried down, but Zach Brown, a talented running back as well. They'll await the winner of a game today, Holston versus J.I. Burton, number 6 versus number 3. Watch out for Holston. They're 6-4 overall. They're facing a J.I. Burton team who's 8-2. I've talked to a few people while I was at the PH game. They said, don't be surprised if PH has to host Holston next week.
Yeah, Holston's been a team that's been under the radar all year, and even though Burton has won 8 in a row, they opened the season with losses to Union and Chilhowie and haven't lost since.
Pretty good losses, though, right?
Yeah, you can't hold your head down losing to those two teams, that's for sure.
And then, of course, that game's going to kick off at 1:30 between Holston and J.I. Burton. So you got 3 games that we're going to keep an eye on today. Of course, this one, then John Battle at Union. That one more pertinent to us, of course. But then the 1A game, Holston at Burton. Those are 3 games on this Saturday afternoon. A couple of other results. The second round of the TSSAA playoffs, David Crockett 32, Tennessee High nothing. Crockett moves to 12-0 on the season, and Tennessee High's season will end at 8-4. A great year for Coach Mays and that squad.
Absolutely. He did a really good job with the Vikings. We saw him way back in week 3, and it seems like they just got better throughout the season and won their first playoff game in a few years.
And the last game that we have a score for, number 3 Abingdon in Region 3C. Abingdon with a 20-0 win over Hidden Valley. As that was the muddiest field I think I've seen in a while. Alan Gregory
I saw pictures.
put a picture up, and you couldn't hardly see any of the numbers on the field for the yard lines or anything.
Yeah.
But that was a revenge game for Abingdon because they lost to Hidden Valley. That just shows how much more comfortable Coach Ambergy's gotten with this team.
That's
Man,
right.
What a first year they've had.
Unbelievable. He took over right before two-a-day started for Abingdon, and kudos to Coach Ambergy and his staff, man. Great job.
And just to sort of piece it together the way they have, it's very impressive. And now they're going to move to the second round in Region 3C.
They travel to Lord Botetourt.
So you never know, do you?
Never know.
So let's look at Know Your Opponent. Of course, a familiar opponent here in Graham. They've strolled to victories against in-state schools. And as you look at it, this Graham team with, after that Week 1 loss here, they played Bluefield, of course. They both share this stadium, 38-14 they lost. But other than that, they've scored 40 or more in 7 of their games and 7 of their 9 wins. So they've had an impressive scoring output. They've been held to less than 32 times. They won both games 28-13, and then last week against Marion 25-12. But that Marion game, I think, with the weather being the way it was.
Yeah, that was another field that I saw pictures of after the game, and I saw a picture of Cam Allen on Twitter, and his white Graham uniform was completely brown.
The Cleveland Browns were playing that night. And for Graham overall, they're led by fourth-year head coach Tony Palmer, 38-11 overall record. He's taken Graham to at least the second round of the playoffs in each of his first 3 seasons, and Graham had only made it into the first round, past the first round, since 2007 one time, and it was 2009. So what they've done, they've gotten some consistency there, and, in the regular season, they are 26-3 since 2016.
Yeah, impressive. Coach Palmer's done a good job. Coach Palmer, I believe, was a running back on the '89 Graham State Championship team, and he's definitely a football mind, and he's done a great job with this program.
Again, the last meeting between these two schools was Week 6 of this season, or Week 7 for Virginia High, if you look at it based on opponents. Graham was dominant in a 44-7 win in Week 8, actually. After a scoreless first quarter, Graham led Virginia High 16-0 at half. Cam Allen rushed for 2 touchdowns, threw a TD pass, and returned an interception for a score, so he couldn't have had much better of a game for him, and he's really played well the last 2 times against this Bearcat team. Graham has outscored Virginia High 99-14 in the last 2 meetings, so something's got to change here today to sort of quell what's been going on in this series.
Yeah,
recently.
We've definitely seen a pattern in recent history when these two teams play.
Definitely don't want that to continue here in the playoffs. Let's look at the series history. They've met 42 times. Graham leads the series 25-15-2. The average score is 19-16 in favor of the G-Man. At Gene Malcolm earlier this year, Graham is 6-3. Of course, that won't matter here today. The longest win streak in the series, 1981 to 06. Graham won 8 games in a row in that time span. This series also featured 2 ties, 59 and 79. Both of them were scoreless ties. Again, the Graham G-men have outscored the Bearcats 99-14 in the last 2 meetings. Coach Christ is 0-2 against Graham. But on the whole, Virginia High played here in Bluefield against the Graham G-men. It's a beautiful stadium, a crowd starting to file in. Of course, the stadium's so big, a decent crowd at a high school game would still look small here.
I believe the stadium holds 10,000.
Nice stadium up here in the mountains, right on the border. As we get set here for kickoff between the Cats and the G-men, the referees are now on the field, and the captains are getting ready to come out. Looks like the captains are out of the locker room and coming out for this playoff game. And we're going to see 2 teams very similar offensively, both of them wanting to run the football for the most part in the spread. So it'll be interesting to see what team can actually hold on to the football. You know, I feel like this game, and I don't know, this might be a sort of a spoiler for Doug's formula to success, but I think the team that's going to be able to hold on to the football, and mainly if the Cats are able to keep the ball away from this offense.
That's right. That's the key. A high-powered offense like Graham with all their speed, you got to play keep away. When you're not a offense that's set up like them to where you can match them score for score, you need to just keep that offense on the sideline.
And some storylines for tonight's game. Virginia High looks for their first playoff win since 2013. They've been to the playoffs 3 times since, but they've lost in the first round all 3 of those times. So it'd be a good chance for these seniors to finish off that legacy and move on and play Union next week. Second storyline is, will the Bearcats be able to contain the talented playmakers of Graham? We saw the Cat defense stymie Graham to a scoreless first quarter and only trailed 16-0 at half, but gave up 28 points in the second half, although put an asterisk beside that, just 21. One of them was a pick 6.
Yeah.
But so can they do that? Can the offense be able to keep them in the football game? I was talking earlier to you about, it's sort of similar to that LSU-Bama game. Alabama's averaging 50 points per game. You hold them to 29, but if you don't put up any points, it really doesn't matter.
Still not going to win. That's right.
So if you can just keep it low scoring. And number 3, Cam Allen and the G-men look to head into round 2 matchup with either Union or John Battle and continue this win streak they're on. They're going for win number 10 in a row. As the captains are out on the field, we're ever closer to kickoff here from the VHSL Class 2D playoff, as the Cats are in the all-white black lids. The slash mark, the paw print on the side of the helmets, metallic gray, black numbers for the Bearcats, black shoulders, white pants, and looks like for the most part black and orange cleats for the Cats. The G-men are in the traditional maroon, solid maroon helmets with that star with the G in the middle of it on both sides and a big yellow stripe right down the middle. The numbers on the back in solid white, yellow and white piping on those shoulder pads, white socks. And again, those maroon pants with that white and yellow piping on it. Definitely pretty sharp-looking uniforms today for both football teams as the captains are out on the field. Looks like Jalen Dingus is one of the captains, along with Joseph Kennedy for the Bearcats for this coin toss. As neither team has entered the field of play yet, just the captains out for the toss. Looks like Virginia High won the toss. Actually, they're just now tossing. They were just talking, yeah. Graham, it appears, has won the toss, so it'll be up to them. And it looks like we'll get an announcement here shortly.
Virginia High has won the toss.
Actually, Virginia High won and deferred. Right. I'm glad we don't get paid to do that.
That's right.
So Virginia High won the toss. They've deferred to the second half. And, Doug, you said this game, it's about just sort of throwing it all at somebody. When you're the underdog, you have the opportunity. We're going to see a little bit of something different here tonight?
I believe so, Dylan. I believe the coaching staff's going to pull every trick they have in their bag out today. They have to. In a game like this, when you're a heavy underdog, you've got to throw all caution to the wind. Everything you've got in the playbook's got to be on display today.
Getting set here for the Cats to enter the field. They're lined up down there behind the big sign, getting ready to come out. And Graham comes out on the other side, both to our right here. Virginia High on the far side, visiting sideline. We have a good contingent.